Hello guys, this is part of one of this shaker card, shaker tag actually that I wanted to make. And in this video I'm going to show in detail how I made the tag, which looks like the night sky, and how I colored in the little kitty cat. And you can find a link to the next video and to show you how to make the moon shaker card. So what I noticed lately is that I come back a lot to the distress inks, and particularly to certain colors, and which is like broken china, peacock feathers, faded jeans, seedless preserves, and black soot. And I think lately I've been doing a lot of skies with these colors because they kind of look like the skies that I have on my old balcony. When I look out, it's always kind of like purplish darkish color. So the way I do it is I take my lightest one, which is like broken china, and I try to put a coat on the tag. And it's not gonna look very good at first, it's not gonna look very even, and that's okay because broken china is such a faded ink that I don't think you will ever have the possibility to completely cover your tag with just that color. And the way you go forward is you blend it in with like peacock feathers, and then you give it like a more of an emerald kind of sky look. And it's perfectly fine to leave some white space open because you're gonna put other inks. I usually use the same foam applicator for 2 or more colors that are very similar. So now I'm going in different corners and in different sides with faded jeans. And the reason why the camera has so much trouble picking up the colors, focusing, is because I'm moving way too fast for the camera, and that always happens when I am doing this kind of blendings. So after I put the first coat of fading jeans, I'm going to go with seedless preserves, and this is really strong ink, a really strong purple. But don't be afraid, because you're gonna go back in with the other colors and blend that thing out. So even if it doesn't look very good and nice now, it will look at the end. So always think what the order of your inks are, but always consider that you're gonna go back, just like you would do with, let's say, Copic markers or any other markers. You do the same with ink, you blend it out with other colors. And now when I'm going to apply on top of it, for example, faded jeans, it's going to look really cool. It's going to have this purple, very dark blue color, which is like a really nice Halloweenish sunset, more like a sunset in autumn that you would get. You either get a very red sunset or you get a purplish sunset from what I see. And then there's the normal one, but we're not going to talk about normal sunsets here, right? We want to talk more about the nicer colored ones. And as a finishing touch, you always want to do the edges with a little bit of black, and you don't have to do a lot. So that's why you always start on your crafting sheet and then you bring the black, because the black is really strong and you don't want to overpower anything. So you just blend that one in and really darken it, because yeah, it's a night sky, so it doesn't really, only in the north you would still see a bit of light, you know. We don't have to make the moon right now because the moon is going to be our shaker, so I don't have to worry about masking in a moon there to have it say it. But still, it's not completely dark. A night sky is never completely dark. It always has will have some nice light. And what I'm doing now is I'm going to spritz it with some water, and together with some perfect pearls, and that's going to be giving it a really nice shine. But it's also going to make the colors blend in, because distress inks kind of blend with water and they just gonna smooth out really. So that's why I wasn't really worried about me making a mess with the blending tools and having these big blobs of color, because they're gonna be smoothed out. So I'm super fast speeding it up with my heating tool, and now I'm gonna put some bigger blobs of this water on top of it, and just to make more mess, because when you spray it, it only puts very small amounts. I'm not heating it right away because I want to let that water work its way in, and then I'm going to dab it off once I'm quite happy with the result. So it's gonna, the water is gonna push the inks out, and that's gonna give it this nice effect. And now what I'm doing is I'm gonna create the stars, because the stars are, you always see them at night. And the way to do that is I put some of that shiny water and with a little bit of acrylic paint, which is white, and I'm just gonna mix that out with a water brush, and I'm just gonna flick the water brush on my finger, and that's gonna create very fine, very defined splatter, right? And I'm flicking it all over the place. And if I want even more, because that's very bright white, I'm just gonna put some more water. That's gonna make a bit bigger blobs. And if I want very small blobs, I'm just gonna flick the brush directly on my finger, and that motion is going to actually create different sizes of white splatter on it. Now, because I think I added too much white, you can dab it with your paper towel there, and then I'm gonna just hit it to make sure with my heat tool. Now I wanted it to be a bit more darker, so in the end I just bring on top of that a little bit on the edges more of that black soot, just to tie it all together. And you can go wild with these tags, and you can do all kind of techniques. I urge you to try out different colors for different scenes. Just remember that they will always blend out, and you're not gonna get the perfect color from the first applied layer. It's always going to be multiple layers, and you're gonna have to come back with your lighter color to smooth things out and so on. And in the end, you can always spritz it with some water just to really make it make the colors flow in together. Of course, I wasn't happy with the amount of stars I have, so I decided I'm going to put some more there, and I just wanted the little ones, so I'm just flicking out. You can go crazy with this. I need again to learn when to stop, but it's a really fun technique. And I bought these tags, I think they're the Manila tags, and the reason why I'm doing this is you don't get the same results if you do it on a very stark white tag. The colors are going to look different, so please try out your colors. I'm going to show you how to color in that nice little this is a penny black, I think, stamp, and it's a mouse and a kitty cat on flying on a broom. It's quite a Halloweeny set, I think, and I really like that kitty cat. As this is a Halloween kitty cat, I'm going to do it on orange kitty cat, and the way I'm doing that is I put it the first layer of color, but I'm really following very closely the darker lines that the stamp set already has created for me, because that's very important. That's usually where the darker colors are, and I'm just going to pull the color inward towards the middle of the kitty cat, and that's going to create the shading. And afterwards I can do my other color, which is my darker one, again on the sides there, and that's going to give it a bit more definition. I'm using a little watercolor paper. I think they're from Crafter's Companion or something like that. It's just normal watercolor paper, and that's because I'm using quite a lot of water. I didn't want my paper to suddenly start peeling and everything. And I have to color in the nice broom a bit with some pumice stone, and then I'm gonna color the mouse with this like gray pumice stone. And again, I'm putting my lighter color first, and then I'm pulling the color towards the center of the little mouse, and then I'm going to do my darker color. No, first I used old paper, and now I'm using pumice stone, and I'm going to give the little mouse more definition. This is quite easy coloring, I think, and I just love my distress markers for this. I don't have other markers like Copics or anything, so most of the times if I do coloring I either use distress markers or watercolor pencils, and lately I think I've exclusively been using distress marker for this kind of coloring. So this was kind of it. Please check out my other video in which I explain how to make the actual shaker card, and there's gonna be links also in the description of the video, as on the video itself as an annotation. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions regarding this video, and see you next time.